What were you doing?
The night of the 18th?
What were you doing after you got home at 4:14 and Laura's children had left at about 5:20 to go to church? What were you doing then?
I was with Laura.
Doing what?
We did a bunch of different things.
I'm sorry?
We did a bunch of things. Probably, like I said, probably took a shower and hung out, maybe watched some TV.
Did you notice anything going on across the street?
No.
You didn't see a car come at 6 p.m. up to the Phillips house?
No.
Did you see a car come back at 7 p.m. and go, female or females go up to the Phillips house?
No.
See, that's what rubs me the wrong way. I mean, she's asking him about the time of the murder. He's like, yeah, whatever, we were doing whatever. I don't know, we were doing whatever. But what do you mean? This is you on trial for triple murder, and the prosecutor's cross-examining you about what you're doing at the time the murders are taking place. Well, we did lots of things. I don't know. Whatever. We did lots of things. Julie Janae still with us. Steve Greenberg still with us. Julie Janae, what's the bottom line on his alibi? What exactly was he doing at the time we believe these three people were murdered?
He says he was at home. He was with his fiance, then girlfriend. It was their anniversary. They were hanging out, is what he kept saying about what they were doing as far as their anniversary plans. There are a few moments during the night. We know around 5:30 is when we believe Pam Phillips was killed, because she was on the phone with someone and they heard a small scream. But around this time, the video camera at his house, surveillance video, shows that he had already gotten home from work around 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then we don't see him leaving at all at 5:30 or before 5:30. So unless he went out that front door, not clear if he could have been there at the time of that murder.
And that's the front door that, according to the defendant, doesn't work, but doesn't open, but has a door stop that prevents it from opening.
He had a lot to say about that door today. It was really flowery testimony about a warped door in an old home that he didn't want to get rid of because it adds to the character of this old home. So they nailed it shut, hoping that over a couple of years it would actually return to its correct shape.
Yeah, and when you nail shut a door, you have to put a door stop in there to make sure that the nail doesn't come out. Come on. All right, let's listen to more of Kit Martin.
But
go ahead, Steve.
Vinny, they tried to play video showing, that you couldn't tell if he came and left, and the defense played video showing you could. So the prosecution lost credibility in that battle of whether he was home or not home.
Yeah, I'm not saying the prosecution's winning this case or proving this case. To me, it's all about the way he's testifying, the things that he's saying. I'm not buying all this stuff, Steve.
But who sits home and stares out their front window to see who's coming and going from the neighbor's
No,
house?
but you might think a little bit during the 768 days about what you were doing at the time of the murder.
How long was he arrested? How long was he arrested? I don't mean to, but how long was he arrested after the murder took place?
But he knew the murder took place right across the street. I mean, I think it was in the newspaper. I think it was in the newspaper.
He was detained the day after, just to jump in. He was detained the day after the murders happened. He wasn't arrested for about 3.5 years officially.
There you go.
And he says he was home.
Okay. Yeah, but again.
Where are you at night? I mean, I'm home. It's nighttime. I'm home. There was last week, there was a shooting, because I live in Chicago, right? So there was a shooting on the street corner of my street last week. I was out on my back deck. I had no idea there was a shooting that took place until the police arrived. You don't know.
Yeah, I understand that he didn't see what happened. I'm just saying his whole attitude and the way he's presenting himself on the stand. It's like I don't know what I was doing. Like she's asking him about some random day that he's had, no time to think about. Come on, this is the murder across the street that you've been accused of and you've been locked up for 800 days about. So that's all. Let's listen to.
He didn't say nothing. He was home.
Yeah, I know. It's not what he said, it's how he said it. That's rubbing me the wrong way, Steve. Here's Kit talking about Calvin. And again, this is the victim. This is the alleged motive in the case. Take a listen.
You knew that Joan Harmon and Calvin Phillips, with the help of Calvin Phillips, had not only turned the laptop that was found in belongings that had been in your house, turned the laptop into the FBI, but also that Calvin Phillips had provided a photograph of Joan Harmon's son showing bruises and so forth.
I didn't really get the background on that for years, so I wasn't exactly sure what the deal was. I know Joan was obviously behind it.
But you didn't know Calvin Phillips was the one that turned over that information to the FBI?
Like I said,
in fact, to Captain Garrett?
I found out much later. It might have been at the prosecutorial misconduct hearing.
But you did nevertheless find out that Calvin is the reason the case, as Captain Garrett testified, Calvin Phillips was the case. Without Calvin Phillips, there wouldn't have been the charges.
According to Captain Garrett, not according to Calvin Phillips.
Okay. And in fact, you at some point, as you said, hired private investigators and who specifically went to interview Calvin Phillips.
Later on, yeah.
And I get he's on cross-examination. He's not happy with the prosecutor. He's not happy with the court-martial. He felt like people were going after him. He felt like his ex was, orchestrating all of it. But at the end of the day, Julie Janae, he knew that it was Calvin Phillips that was responsible for getting the whole thing started by handing in that laptop.
And this was probably one of the strongest points or wins that the prosecution made on cross-examination, was being able to bring out that court paperwork that was filed by the defense in the court-martial that listed why they wanted to call Cal Phillips. And it said that they wanted to call to bring out the fact that he was the instigator of all of this, that he was prone to fabricate stories, and that he essentially was someone who had inconsistent statements that had been brought out in this case. So it showed a different story than what he said on the stand, which was that Cal was going to be my star witness. I've got audio to show that he was actually on my side at the end of this.
Steve, let me ask you another question here. He plays, and this is another reason it rubs me the wrong way, he's playing the role of victim, right? And maybe he is. But, I mean, the jury's got to believe that he's been wrongfully court-martialed, right? And then wrongfully prosecuted for triple murder. How many of your clients have been wrongfully accused in two different cases?
All of them. No.
Right?
Look,
that's a problem. Isn't that a problem?
No, because he wasn't court-martialed. He didn't lose that case, right? So if he didn't lose the case, then he was wrongfully court-martialed.
Well, what were the results of that, Julia?
Let me throw.
It was kind of like a mixed result, right? It wasn't like he walked away completely free.
It was a lesser charge than what he was accused of, but he did serve out 90 days in jail for simple assault and for improper use of classified information, acts unbecoming of an officer. So technically, he lost all of his benefits and his Army credentials over that court-martial, but it was lesser than what he was initially charged with.
If you're the soon-to-be ex-wife or the ex-wife, whichever she was at the time, I don't recall, and you want to get back at him, you have to, and you're going to do something really heinous like this, you have to find someone where everyone's going to look at him and think he has a motive to do it. You can't just pick out some guy walking down the street, gun him down, take the dog tags on a string and throw them on the ground there and hope that they're going to make this case. So all of that cuts both ways. It also provides a perfect reason why she would have done this.
But I thought the revenge was the court-martial, and the key to the court-martial was Cal. So why would she kill the key witness against him before the court-martial? That runs counter to her revenge mode, because she was going to ruin him through the court-martial. And how can you ruin him through the court-martial if you kill the witness, the number one witness, who's Cal? That's why part of the Joan theory makes zero sense to me. But that's just me. That's just me. I'm the only one. I'm here by myself, folks. None of the other anchors agree with me. Julie Janae confirmed that earlier. Steve Greenberg never agrees with me, so there you have it. Julia, thank you so much. Awesome, awesome reporting. And closing arguments tomorrow?
Yes, closing arguments expected to begin tomorrow. We don't know yet whether the state's going to put on a rebuttal case.
All right. And Steve Greenberg, always a pleasure. Your time is valuable. We appreciate it.
Busy week.